Hey, welcome back to my channel. Today we are cooking again. Well, actually we're baking. So I'm gonna be making some black bean brownies. I've made these once before. I used someone else's recipe and I thought that they actually turned out really well. They needed a little bit more sugar and they were sort of dry. So we're gonna try to make them a bit fudgier now. I'm also gonna switch it up and do a caramel on top. It's gonna be more of like a raw vegan caramel with coconut and nuts and a little bit more chocolate. For the brownies, you'll need 2 eggs. If you're vegan, go ahead and just substitute the eggs with yogurt. Basically, you can do a 1/4 cup of plain yogurt per egg and swap it out that way. I try to do things sugar-free as best I possibly can. Natural raw sugar or sugar-free, but not artificial sweeteners. Okay, so first what I'm gonna do is open my can of black beans. I'm gonna actually rinse and drain, and then rinse them with water first, and then I'm gonna throw them in the food processor and blend them up smooth. I've seen recipes where they say leave them a little bit chunky. I don't want chunks of black beans in my brownies, so we're gonna blend it up smooth. Okay, so I drained and rinsed my black beans really well. I just threw them into the food processor. We're gonna blend these up. By the way, I've also had my oven preheating to 350. Okay, so I got that blended to the best of my ability. You can also use a blender if you have a Vitamix. Good for you. I wish I did. And I'm just gonna transfer this to a larger bowl. You honestly don't need a bowl that's this big. This is just what I don't know, I just grabbed it. Okay, so I've got that in there. I'm gonna actually wash out the food processor now because we will use it again for our caramel. Okay, now we're gonna add 2 eggs. This honestly could turn out absolutely horrible since I haven't done this specific recipe yet, but we'll see. The thing that I like about black bean brownies is that you don't have to use flour at all. And it's got protein and fiber, and you don't taste it because of the chocolate. Like, you honestly don't. Okay, now I'm gonna do some coconut oil. How much do I want? Okay, that was like 1.5 large tablespoons of coconut oil. Vanilla extract. This is about a teaspoon-ish, and I always do a little bit extra. 1/4 cup coconut sugar, and almost a 1/4 cup of erythritol monk fruit. This is a blend of erythritol and monk fruit sweetener. Okay, so I blended that up pretty well. Now I'm going to add my cocoa powder. So this I'm only gonna do a 1/4, not only. I tend to put too much when I eyeball it. So I'm gonna make sure that it's just a 1/4 cup. This is baking powder. We're gonna do 1/2 teaspoon. Pinch of salt. That's probably about 1/4 teaspoon. Okay, so the batter actually looks really good to me. It looks just like brownies. Hopefully you can see. I don't know. So I'm just gonna take the chocolate chips and sprinkle in as much as I want. I think with the black bean brownies, this is kind of an important step so that you have something to break that up. And if you do have a rogue bean in there, you're biting into a chocolate chip and it kind of distracts you. You shouldn't though. What I just put is probably about a 1/4 cup. I don't like a lot of chocolate chips in my brownies. I usually don't put chocolate chips at all, but if I'm making the black bean ones, I do. Okay, so I think this is like a 9x9 inch pan. I've already put parchment paper in it, and I'm just gonna dump this in here. Try not to get it on my top. I mean, it looks really good. It smells just like brownies. I think we're gonna be okay. We're gonna get these in the oven, They're gonna bake, I don't know how long for, because I also don't time anything. Take this as like a fun adventure and not really like me telling you what to do necessarily, because I don't follow any specific rules. But I'm gonna put this in the oven. Basically when I bake things, I don't usually time it. I just wait until I can smell it and then I know it's probably done. I stick a toothpick in it to see what we're looking like. This should be a little bit fudgy still, so there should be some coming out of the toothpick. And then I'll take them out and we'll be able to let them cool and spread our caramel on top. Okay, so on to the exciting part. I've also never made this before. It was just an idea that I had. It sounded good, and I thought I could probably figure this out. I wanted to do some type of a caramel on top of a brownie, like a caramel layer with the coconut and the nuts and stuff, but I didn't want it to just be all sugar and unhealthy. So I have a bag of medjool dates here. I didn't get the ones that were pitted already because I didn't want them to be dried out. I haven't had very much success with dates. The last few times I've bought them, they've just been so dry and not pleasant to eat. So I'm gonna go ahead and take the pits out of most of these, and I'll tell you how many I put in. Okay, so that actually ended up being the entire bag, which was about 20 dates. So now I'm gonna add some macadamia nuts. Quarter cup, half a cup, another quarter cup. I'm also doing a little bit of vanilla extract, some coconut sugar. That's probably about a quarter cup. I am gonna add some honey. Honey is a humectant, so it's gonna hold the moisture and make sure that it's nice and smooth. We want it sticky. We want it like caramel. I'm gonna add a little bit of coconut oil, not a ton, probably like, that's like half a tablespoon. Pinch of salt and shredded coconut. A lot of these have a lot of sugar in them. I found one that had no sugar added that was just shredded coconut. I got this at my local grocery store. Nothing fancy. Okay, that was like 3 small handfuls. I'm gonna start blending this up. We'll see what it looks like. I have a feeling it might need a little bit. I forgot to put the blade in. I'm gonna take everything out and put it back in. Okay, I put the blade in like a person that actually knows what they're doing. And I'm gonna go ahead and blend this up, see what the texture looks like. If I need to smooth it out, I'll probably just add some milk or some water. But I already smell my brownies, so I'm actually gonna check on those first and see if they're done. Okay, I just checked, they're not done yet, but they're getting there. So we're gonna move on with the caramel. Okay, so I've been blending this for probably like a minute. It is coming together really nicely, but I'm gonna go ahead and add some milk. Smells good. Hopefully milk is the right decision. We'll find out. By the way, the macadamia nuts that I used were salted, and I think that little pinch of salt really adds a nice flavor. Okay, texture is way better. That's good. The coconut sugar gives it almost like a toasted quality. I think that's what I want. Perfect. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead, leave it there, show you what it looks like. It's got a nice, I mean, it's like a thick caramely consistency. It's not caramel, obviously, but it's as close as we can get for being raw and relatively healthy. I just checked the brownies. They're almost done. They're just a little bit too wobbly in the middle still, so I'm gonna let them bake for, I would say maybe like 3 to 5 more minutes. In the meantime though, I'm gonna chop up some walnuts, and then we're almost done. So basically my plan is take the brownies out, let them cool a little bit, spread the caramel over, and then I'm going to sprinkle a little bit more coconut, sprinkle the walnuts on top, and And I'm gonna melt the chocolate chips and drizzle that over the top. And then eat it. I don't know, I feel like, I mean, I'm not like the healthiest person that you'll ever meet in your life. Like, I do frequent In-N-Out fairly often, but you know, for the most part, I don't eat processed food and I eat whole foods and I avoid sugar, especially processed, like cane sugar. And what really helped me start eating healthier, because I didn't for a really long time, is to realize that there's a substitute for everything. Like, if you're craving something sweet, you can make something that has no refined sugar and that still has, you know, whole foods like protein from the black beans and the nuts and healthy fats from the coconut oil and things like that. That still tastes really good and is still satisfying, and you're not like, oh, this is diet food. No, it's actually really enjoyable and it's not horrible for you. And if you want a second slice of it, go for it. Okay, so brownies are done. I just took them out. Toothpick came out almost clean. I'm gonna try to turn them. That's what they look like, just like real brownies. You never know there are beans in them. And I'm going to leave these to cool as much as possible, and then we're gonna get them topped up and they'll be done. Ooh, okay, I really wish I had an overhead camera because this looks so good. Okay, so I spread that out as well as I could. I will say it did, if I like spread too hard in one area, it would start to pull up the top of the brownies. So I just kind of smushed it back down. It's probably just because they're still pretty hot. Now I'm gonna sprinkle some walnuts. And then I'm gonna sprinkle a little bit more coconut. Grab a random bowl. And I'm just gonna microwave these chocolate chips. That's too much. I'm just gonna microwave these chocolate chips in 20 to 30 second intervals. Stir, pop it back in the microwave, throwing these everywhere until it's melted. And then we're gonna drizzle it on top. Okay, so sorry that my camera angle keeps changing. Don't mind me. I just microwaved the chocolate. I like to use a fork whenever I'm doing this, and it's just really important to microwave it in intervals so that the chocolate doesn't curdle. But it's nice and smooth now. I'm gonna go ahead and drizzle that over the top of the brownies. Just realized I didn't use that bowl at all. At least it looks cute. That's it. Here they are. They look pretty good to me. I'm really excited to try them. I want to let it cool just a little bit and then we'll give it a taste. Okay, I don't want to wait anymore. Oh yeah, I didn't consider the fact that I probably should have let it set just because the caramel's gonna be soft still. Oh well. Just take a little piece, it'll be fine. A lot of caramel. Yeah, it definitely needed to cool. It's like falling apart, but I just want to taste it. Mmm. Okay, so brownies, I think, needed a little less of the erythritol and a little more moisture. They turned out a little bit cakier than I was expecting. It's still really good though. Okay, I want to know for all the experimental bakers, try this out. Tell me how you change it. Let me know what you think. I think it's a really good healthy dessert. That's the end of my video. Thank you for watching. If you came all the way to the end, these really are really good. I would say just let them cool. Definitely drizzle the chocolate on top. And I hope you like them. Bye. Hey, so it's me the next day. I just wanted to quickly say, after I made the brownies last night, I put them in the fridge and I left them overnight, took them out this morning, and they turned out so good. So definitely don't eat them hot. The brownie's gonna kind of crumble and fall apart. Let them set up, wait for them to cool, put them in the fridge so that the caramel can set up, and then cut yourself a slice and tell me what you think.